right. Turn this shit off. It's not shit. I like the music, but hey, everybody, welcome back. My name is Josh, as always. With me is my brother Matt, aka Technique. We are
In high
here.
definition.
Yeah, super high definition. He was too lazy to plug in his DSLR camera, so now we get the shitty C922 Technique. This is I was talking to him before we started going because obviously we're testing things out, making sure things look good. And I'm like, man, normally like the shirt he's wearing, the tee looks green, but on the C922 camera, the tee
Also
looks white.
fading a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, I know,
Also,
but still.
Discord, I think, just makes it look bad anyways. It's just extra bad. It's ain't like focusing. Hello. There we go. Hey.
Yeah, we're back. So we had our big return episode 3 weeks ago, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna be back on it. Super into it, like super on top of it. My birthday was last week, and I drank basically all day from like 1 o'clock in the afternoon until about 9:45 at night. And so yeah, I decided, hey, we'll push back. We were gonna do it on a Wednesday, but there were some things I wanted to talk about that I wanted to take a look at before we actually talked about it. And last Wednesday was a bit of a busy day for me. So we are here. We're doing it, 1 week, no big deal. We'll get back into it.
Yeah, it's not like a month or anything.
Yeah,
it's just a little.
We're easing back into it. For anyone who doesn't know, if this is the first time you've ever seen us, catching us, in, whether it's audio form, you're joining the stream, whatever it might be. Again, my name's Josh, aka Jay Frosty. With me is my brother Matt, aka Technique. We host this little gaming nerd-esque nerd culture podcast. It's sort of evolved from when we initially started. It was very strictly video games when we first started, and we've started to branch into a few other things. But we basically come at you every other week, so every other Monday, and for the stream every other Wednesday for the audio version, and we just talk at you. Some important news or some funny things that are happening in the gaming.
I say if the podcast is a Pokemon, right? Like, the second evolution, if we're talking about evolving, we've reached the second evolution so far. So, there's more to go possibly.
That's actually a very good point. Yeah, because we have changed a little bit. If you're an avid listener, a longtime follower of the WE podcast, you'll know early iterations of the show was us just kind of rambling. We had set topics, but we just kind of talked. We didn't really have much of a structure. We have a bit of a structure now, and we're going to stick to it. But I'll get the boring stuff out of the way as we always do. If you're really enjoying what we're doing here, if you like listening to the podcast, you like watching the streams, let somebody know. Word of mouth is huge. Letting people know always helps us out. So you can basically key them into what we're doing here at the WKey podcast. Tell a friend, tell a family member. Anything helps. Word of mouth, great. If you're the type of person who likes to rate and review, you can go to Apple Podcasts or Podchaser. Anchor as well. We're on the Anchor app now. That's what we used to host the show. And you can rate, review, comment, all that kind of stuff on those different platforms if that's something that you're into. So if we're doing great, 5 stars, leave us a great review. Maybe we'll read it on stream the next time we do this show. And you'll be...
Oh God, that'd be great if we could get enough
reviews. I know.
It's kind of like a read mean tweets type of thing, possibly.
100%. I would be in for it. And even if they weren't good, I'd still whatever. I don't know. I'd still read it anyways. I don't care. So yeah, like I said, if you're into that kind of stuff, rate, review, share with friends, family members, or just hang out with us. If you're the silent watcher type, the lurker as they call it on the old streaming platforms, that's fine too. We're just happy to have you. We're happy that you're interacting with our content, and we hope that you're liking it. With that out of the way, we're going to get in.
It freaks out.
I
can't move. I got to be like...
Matt's also practicing to be a mime. Mime. Well, yeah, because, you don't move a lot. Or like a street performer with the statue. You're trying to be a statue street performer.
Yeah, I'm going to freaking spray paint myself silver next time. Just big.
Yeah, so with that out of the way, we're going to get into the meat and the potatoes, if you will, of this episode. The title of the episode is New World Mania, there or something. I already forgot what it was.
A brand new.
Yeah,
world.
I already forgot what I titled it, but you'll see the title somewhere, whether you're watching the stream or you're listening to the podcast, and it has to do with New World. So that's going to be the first thing that we're leading off. So jumping into the big three, this section of the podcast is basically geared at things we feel like you should know. There are three pretty big topics that I feel like anyone in the gaming world, or we feel like anyone in the gaming world should be aware of. One, or maybe you're not. You want to get a little more enlightened. So again, this isn't an exhaustive romp down gaming news. It's literally just three topics that stand out since the last time we did the podcast. And so the New World, or New World, whatever you want to call it, brand new game. Brand new MMO from Amazon Studios. So
surprising.
Yeah.
It's from Amazon, but doing good.
It's yes. Which I think is funny, a little, as is tradition, a little bit of a sidetrack, but Netflix is also getting into the gaming world. They've, I think they're targeting like mobile and smaller stuff currently, but they plan to get into the bigger stuff. But so Amazon Games, obviously not a traditional game studio that everyone's aware of. It's not BioWare, it's not Ubisoft, it's not Activision. It's a whole new thing, and this is not their
but
only
I'm sure they have enough money to throw around to
Papa
to
Bezos
get some stuff done.
Papa Bezos has got a lot of money to throw around. So New World, it's a new MMO RPG. I joked a lot when we first started playing it, when I was talking to my friends about it, because I never got hooked on WoW. Not that I wasn't too old, I wasn't too young. It was pretty much right in the prime. We had shitty computers back in the day and horrible internet service because we lived up in the middle of the fucking woods. We had dial-up a lot longer than I think most of the civilized world had dial-up. And so online games we didn't really get into those when we were. So,
plus subscriptions. Our parents were very cheap, so $15 a month for a game. Hell no.
Exactly. So, yes, new MMORPG. It's got a lot of hype behind it. A lot of people played it. A lot of people were loving it. A lot of streamers were playing it. A lot of people were making the connection from New World to WoW. Is this the next WoW? Is this generation's WoW? I can't say one way or the other because I didn't play WoW, but from playing New World, I can say thoroughly that I'm hooked, and I'm like,
say from the possible addiction standpoint, I could say yes.
I know.
I mean, like you said, I'd never got into WoW either, and that was like my prime time also. But we like started with Star Wars Galaxies. That was my first introduction to like an MMORPG kind of, and that just had me. I was swallowed into that game. So I've honestly been searching for a new MMO since Galaxies. Probably I played a lot of stuff. WoW, EverQuest, Rift, Guild Wars, Star Wars, The Old Republic, Elder Scrolls Online. I played, if it's big and out there, I played it all, and they're all good. All the games I played are good and fun and whatnot. But this one is just like, I just couldn't put it down. Couldn't wait to boot it up. Couldn't put it down. Couldn't peel myself away from it.
We played it together quite a bit, and then like one Sunday you're like, all right, I'm getting off, and I was literally, it was like 4:00 in the afternoon. I was like, okay, yeah, and I got off for like a hot second, then I played until like 11:30 at night. It was I couldn't get away either. It's somewhat of a unique game in the MMO genre to an extent. Most MMOs are class based. You pick a class that dictates the style of armor you have to wear, that dictates the weapons that you can use, that dictates the skills that you have. This game is a classless RPG, and it's not a point and click like ability use. Like you do attacks, you do light attacks, heavy attacks, so you should control the general attacking, and then you can use your abilities. So it's a classless RPG. You can use whatever armor you want. You can mix and match heavy and light as long as you stay. You'll get certain benefits for each class of armor. So you get like a damage buff and another buff for light armor. You get just a damage buff for medium armor, and then you get like a health buff,
a crowd control buff, I think, for heavy.
So, because heavy armor, generally speaking, is the tanks, and crowd control and taunt and aggro is what tanks are meant to pull. So that's why you get that. And then basically what you decide to use for weapons determines your skills that you have. So each weapon that's in the game currently, you can master, you get mastery points, and you can put those points to different skills. It's also slightly different in the sense that most MMORPGs have a lot of skills and a lot of hotbars. You have 6, so you can carry 2 different weapons, 3 skills per weapon, and that's really it. So,
That's
it's
where I always get like lost. Is just
yeah,
especially WoW. You see people just have
I know.
like 5 pages just filled across. I mean, how do
And
you
they've got the
remember what they
mouse
do?
with
How
like
do you
all
even
the buttons on the
yeah?
side, and they're like,
How do you even get to
yeah,
all those buttons? How do you remember like
I
your
know.
combos? I'm kind of dumb when it comes to mixing, matching all the abilities together. So the fact I have 3,
Yeah.
I can handle that.
Yeah, and so it's it's pretty cool. It's simple enough. Like the setup is simple enough that makes combat super accessible, gets you in, gets you PVEing really easily, really quickly.
hmm
I mean, to be honest, based on what we got in the closed beta just ended on the 2nd, August
hmm
2nd, last week. You had to pre-order the game to get it, or you could have got, if you got a key from one of the streamers you watch, gave out keys and stuff like that. But based on what we saw from the PVE in closed beta, you know, it does leave a bit to be desired. It's not the hardest PVE. It's pretty simple. Hopefully, maybe they can tweak that. But this game is really designed to be a PvP game at heart. It initially
Yeah.
was much more PvP centric, but they had to scale it back because they said in like one of the closed alphas, it was so like the chat and the comms were so incredibly toxic because it was so PvP focused, that they had to scale that aspect of PvP back a bit, or scale PvP back a bit, so that it wasn't just this cesspool of old school Modern Warfare 2 lobbies.
Yeah,
So,
I can see that. I mean, even with like the small bit of PvP that like we saw, just like you can be flagged for PvP, just hanging outside villages waiting for other people to
yeah,
come out, and even the comms I heard there, just people just kind of being angry and mad, like, oh, these guys are sitting here camping, blah blah blah. So I can only imagine like what it looked like in the beginning when like, yeah, let's have a lot of PvP.
yeah. So and that's the thing, there is a lot to be had in this game, from in a PvE standpoint. There's a lot you can do outside of the strict PvP. Currently, the main storyline is pretty lackluster, based on what we had
Yeah,
access to, in the closed beta. So my assumption is they're going to buff that to an extent. There's tons of life skills. Mining, logging, tracking, cooking, armoring, leathering, jewelry, like any kind of skill you can imagine, you can level it up in this game. So you can literally spend hours upon hours, which I did do, like leveling all those things up, and
yeah,
but it's a grind, it's a slog, it's a grind fest. But if you like that kind of game, and then you can just basically hop into this game in PvE and grind your skills, become the best, armorer that the fucking world has ever seen. And you can do it that way. That's also an option. Um,
yeah.
but a lot
I
of
was just gonna say you could spend like if you bought the game, you could spend like the
yeah.
first I want to say like 6 months just
Oh yeah.
not even touching PvP. You could just grind all this
Yep.
stuff. If PvP is not your thing, there's plenty of things to fill your time. Trust me. And they do a great way. Like I said, it's very grindy, like super grindy. But I don't know what it is, but the way they do it, it makes me want to do it. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
I want to go cut down that tree. I want to go mine that ore. I don't know what it is, how
Yep.
they do it. It's just done right. I can't describe to anyone why it's done right. It's just done right. It
Yeah.
just makes me want to do it. Like I'm in for the grind. I'm in for just getting all these skills up, and I can't wait.
Yeah. No, it's and looking back on it, I put like 30 something hours into the closed beta, and it's like all that shit gets erased. So it's kind of like,
True.
um,
Forgot to mention that to everyone. Everything
yeah.
anyone ever did in the beta is just all gone. It's all reset again.
But
And that's like you said. That's I think that talks to how fun the game is. Like
I was willing to do it. Yeah.
most of the time, if you tell me there's a game coming out where you put all this time in, it's going to go away, I'm going to say screw you. That sounds terrible. But
I was right
I'm like,
there.
yeah, I'm like, I don't care. I want to play this game. I will get to level 1 million, and I wouldn't care if it just all get wipes away because I just had so much fun playing it.
I was sipping the Kool-Aid hard, man. I really enjoyed it. I mean, but I won't. So there's a lot to be had PVE wise, but I won't kid anybody. The heart of this game is PvP, or at least PvP.
You can, yeah, for sure.
Because there's dungeons, as any MMO would imagine. They call them expeditions, but that relies on playing with other people. You have 3 different factions in the game. I'm sure probably anyone listening to this saw New World shoved down their throat during the closed beta, but still, we'll go over it anyways because it's part of the shtick. There are 3 factions. You get to choose a faction, and then basically, once you've chosen a faction, those factions war for territory on this island that you're plopped into. And so, you can, if you're wherever you started, if your faction owns that place, great. If it doesn't, you can do faction PvP missions to destabilize that area, that land, or that chunk of territory. So once you destabilize it enough, you can then initiate a faction war, essentially. Yeah. So Helen, it has been bricking 3090s. So someone in the chat
Yeah,
said,
I guess we gotta talk about that.
Yes. We were gonna get to that, but yes, it has been bricking some 3090s. They've had to turn. I saw a lot of people. They had to turn everything down to super low settings, and
I mean, I have a 3070. I still just cap it at 60 just to be safe, because I know it's only saying 3090s, but I still just want to be safe.
Yeah. So currently, is there a system? So the other part of that, the statement was that it's breaking 3090s, and then they also asked if there's a system that safely play the game. I mean, I have a 1080 Ti, and I didn't change anything. I have a Ryzen 3700X and a 1080 Ti. I didn't change any settings. I played as with all the settings all the way up, uncapped frame rate, and it didn't brick the 38 my 1080 Ti. So I believe from what I've read, it's only the 30 series cards.
Yeah, so I feel like they would have said more. Yeah. Like, oh, this many. You only see the headliner of 3090s.
So, and even reading between some of those lines on a lot of those stories, I think it's even more finite. I think it's just 3090s, but I can't confirm that. 3080s, 3070s might be safe, but from what I've read, from what I can tell for sure, 20 RTX 20 series and then the GTX 10 series, all of those are perfectly fine. So, it's not an overly graphically demanding game. It looks great. It looks beautiful. Like what they've done is great, but it's not a game that's going to, like I said, I have a 1080 Ti. It's not a game that's pushing the 1080 Ti to its maximum limits, playing on like medium. Like I had everything on ultra. And it looked good.
I'm sure they're gonna have this fixed anyways, but by release, there's gotta be no chance they're releasing this stuff still going on.
Because when you're bricking like $2,000 graphics cards, people are gonna get real pissed real quick. So
I know, like, at least thankfully, I think EVGA, I know they dropped an announcement saying that they would replace all the ones that like crapped out for free. I think I remember seeing that. So
that's nice.
Companies are stepping up. Yeah. God, yeah. If you had to try to find one again and pay for that again, I would probably go crazy.
Yeah. So the faction setup's kind of cool. So kind of getting back to the topic is, there's PvE aspects, but there a lot of the game, a lot of the substance of the game to enjoy
PvP
does require you to play with other people. You don't have to always fight other people, like in a PvP, like in a most basic sense of PvP, which is generally you're going to duel or fight other people. You don't have to do that necessarily, but you're going to have to play with other players to enjoy the vast majority of the end game stuff, like the raids, faction war, stuff like that.
MMO, I would say,
100%,
like it's the basic stuff going on, but definitely. Yeah. You spend, a couple hours in this game, you'll be able to see that a lot of the content is PvP, which, I mean, normally I'm not into that, but like, obviously I'm going to get into it because it's a lot of content in this game, and I just hope I can kind of be somewhat good at it. That's why I just try to do a healer class, because I feel like I'll just stand in the background and be like, pew, pew, get healed, pew. I don't have to try to do all the right combos or drag the right people, this or that, but we'll see. But I'm looking forward to sinking my teeth into PvP. We didn't really do too much in the beta, and
No.
but I think it'll be good. It looks like a lot of fun. It's always tentative nerves. I don't want to
Yeah.
go lose a fort for our squad. Like that guy, technique. I saw him. He did it. He lost it for us.
Um, so, along the veins of kind of the game modes, so the different types of, so obviously you have the regular PvE story mode, but then when you get in, like I said, some of that content, that's PvP. Outpost Rush is one of the big ones. It's PvP, basically control points. It's 20v20. So almost think of it like an Overwatch game. You have to go capture a point. You get X amount. You capture it. You move on to the next point. You have to capture that one. But it's 20v20, player versus player. So that's one of the bigger modes. And that's the cool thing about this game is the sheer scale of some of these modes is crazy.
Yeah.
And then the big one, the big daddy, is the 50v50 faction war. So once you destabilize a realm or a territory enough to initiate for your faction to initiate the faction war, you like I said, you can compete in a 50v50, a fort, basically like a fort defense. So either you're defending or you're attacking and you're trying to take the fort, which I thought was pretty cool. And then there's dungeons, like I said, PvE, pretty classic. I saw like Josh OG and some of them, one of the last dungeons took them like an hour and a half, 2 hours to
I saw
do
that.
it. So like it's all about learning the mechanics of the dungeon. So it's like they're all super, they're damage sponges, obviously. So it's all about learning the mechanic of the boss. But once you do, it seems like it's relatively pretty easy, which they might change. I hope they change, like, give you a different like difficulty option or something like that. Cause once you figure out how to beat the boss, it's like you can pretty much go in and just wipe over and over and over again for the most part. I won't say that that's a guarantee, but learning the mechanics of the boss help you out a lot in that sense.
Most people
Right
are also
now,
there for loot anyway, so it's like
yeah,
they probably won't not too concerned. Like, oh, that boss fight was garbage. It's like, okay, what do we get after?
well,
Come on, baby,
yeah,
give me some good stuff.
this game's definitely those things are definitely for the loot goblins for sure.
Yeah.
And there's 6. Well, there were 6 in the closed beta. My guess is there's going to be a whole lot more because it was almost like 1 per territory or close to it. So, and there's going to be a lot more territories than what we had access to in the open beta or the closed beta rather. And then the final thing is the invasion, which is another PvE situation where you play with 50 other players and you basically have to defend a fort, a castle, whatever, from an invasion of corrupted, which is like the main antagonists of the main storyline, which you'd learn more about from playing. So it's pretty cool. And one thing I forgot to mention in the faction section is you have your overall factions, but then you can also create companies within your faction. These are sort of like guilds. And, as a company, as a governor of the company or whatever, you can purchase, if the territory that you're looking to get into is not claimed by anybody and you have the gold, you can purchase that territory and you kind of become the governor of that territory and you can set tax rates, taxes on crafting, on sales, on property. It's kind of cool and kind of in depth. Seems like a ton of work to maintain.
It's a real detailed, and I was just about to say, it seems like a lot of goddamn work. You gotta have like, you either gotta be a big streamer and this is what you do, you play the game, or you gotta have no freaking life if you want to. You gotta have that responsibility, man. I feel like you're gonna run into a lot of people asking for things or complaining about things that you take care of.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. So I don't know. It's just cool, and the map. So like I mentioned, based on the data mined map, if everything from the data mined map is coming at launch, what we had access to in the closed beta was like 40 to 50% of the total size of the entire map, which is going to suck because there's no mounts currently in this game, and you have to run fucking everywhere. And
the beta was a lot of ground to cover, so if that's only half.
I didn't even get up to
running boots out, boys.
I didn't even get up to the highest, the most, because it's all.
Yeah, we only made like halfway up. I want to say.
Yeah, the regions are all.
Like if you cut the place in half, we just were like where we spawned and down a little bit. Yeah, I didn't really think about that. Yeah, we never got close to the northern part of the map.
I know. Well, and they're all like level locked too. So like the further you go up north, like the harder the places are. And I made it to 27, 28.
Yeah, so we wouldn't be able to survive up there anyways because we'd be higher enough.
But
level.
Still, it's just a slog. it was a slog running. So I really hope they bring in some mounts because I think that's just a big quality of life change for the game as a whole. But I mean, I think I hope we did the game justice because it's a lot of fun. Like, and there's a lot of I have a lot of things, a lot of thoughts. Like, we could have probably talked like a whole hour on the game as a whole. So like, we really just wanted to get across the key points and then try to obviously pepper in how much we both enjoyed the closed beta and very much looking forward to the release. But the cherry on this rotten tomato cake is it got delayed. So it was supposed to be released at the end of August. It got delayed a month.
31st.
And so
that's
it's
28th of September.
Sad. Released the 28th of September. So I was already unsure how I was going to stem my addiction until August, and now I truly have no idea how I'm going to survive until the end of September.
Yeah, it's
like
tough.
I was sitting here like, what am I going to play the other day? I was like, what the hell? Like, I had been getting into Destiny, but I just didn't really feel like playing Destiny, and then didn't feel like playing COD. I had nothing to play. I was like, I just want to play New World, man. Like, that's all I wanted.
Just like go back and just like watch prior broadcasts. Just like,
yeah.
oh yeah, look at that. Oh, what do you look there? Yeah, sick.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sick. So it's gonna be a long wait until
hopefully it makes
hopefully
an
it's
even
good.
better polished version come out then,
because there were a lot of I mean, it's closed beta. There were a handful of bugs, and there was a handful of mechanics that don't make sense.
So as much as we love the game, there's definitely plenty of issues. Don't have really time to get into downsides. We're just trying to give like the good sides that if you're an MMO fan, get this game, but plenty of bugs to fix. So hopefully they pan that all out and we get a nice, very clean copy at release.
That's what I'm hoping. And if they pull it off, it's I think it's gonna be a blast. I hope.
Yeah.
It already was, and if they can improve on it and keep it going, keep it alive, this is gonna be a great game for years to come, I think.
I agree. Yeah, I'm just thinking about Star Wars Galaxy. The one thing that killed it was when they did that like massive swap to like change, like you made Jedi class instead of you had to grind for it, which is really awesome. So I just don't want them to want New World to make any big sweeping changes or anything like that. Keep it as is and roll it out to me soon, hopefully.
I know. So one game that's not really standing the test of time right now. Gotcha. We always you can't. I almost before you wrote this down on our outline, I was almost thinking we were going to make it out of an episode because I wasn't planning on talking about Warzone at all. And usually I'm the addicted one, so usually it comes from me. But Matt wrote it down, so blame Matt.
It's like it's secondary info to the main player here is Apex.
The main player is Apex.
Just playing a second fiddle to.
Well, the reason the main player, so there's a lot of streamers jumping ship from Warzone to Apex because if you haven't played Warzone right now, it's a disaster. It's a hot cesspool
terrible, mate.
Of cheaters and bugs and game design choices. Game design choices that have been in the game since the very beginning that people have been clamoring to have removed for the longest time. Sweats, like you said, just sweaty McSweatertons just out there sweating hams like all day long.
Just nothing new either. It's the same fucking shit, the same map, the same crap. Nothing new and fresh injected in a while.
It's weighed on, it's weighed on a lot of people. I hadn't played for like 2 weeks. New World came out at the right time. I was like away the weekend before New World beta, and then New World beta was there. I was playing that all, and so like I hadn't played in like 2 weeks probably, and that was back. I used to play every Friday and Saturday night until like 3 o'clock in the morning.
I'm trying to think of the last time I played. I can't really remember.
Yeah, and like I hadn't played. I played this weekend. Before that I hadn't played in like 2 or 3 weeks, and it was great. Yeah, there's a lot of streamers that have hit their breaking point. Nick Merckx.
I mean, it's about time. You can't blame them. Like you guys sit there for 8 hours a day dealing with that crap, especially like they're good players. So they're going to be put in lobbies with these people who are also good players, but they're probably just cheaters. So they probably run into way more than we do. 8 hours a day, 5, 6, 7, like all 7 days a week. I would have been gone a long time ago. I'm surprised it took this long, but
I was watching Doc and Z play in the Cracked Creators Cup or whatever today, and they were waiting for Destroy and like Wars to their match to finish because that determined who Doc and Z had to play. It was taking so long because Wars and Destroy, whoever else they're playing, had to reset so many matches because of hackers. Like they had to
I
reset
saw
like
that.
4 in a
Saw
row because of
Z's tweet.
hackers. Like
Yeah.
like how do you ever like how can you ever hope to have a truly pinnacle like competitive game where lots of real money is on the line when you can't keep the rogue elements out of the game? Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people sort of share this sentiment. It's like, so the content drip is just hasn't been fast enough. You know, we would have hoped that and streamers probably will say the same thing. They would have hoped that they would have learned from Fortnite. Fortnite's content drip was fast, and it was enough to keep everyone satiated for a long time. I mean, they made some choices towards the end that drifted it more towards the casual player, and the hardcore competitive player didn't really like those changes. Warzone is also doing that currently. You know, the metas in the last like 4 metas have been zero recoil guns. It makes it really easy for new shitty players to be proficient at the game, and that's the lack of skill gap is I don't want to say evening the playing field, but to an extent it does even the playing field, which makes randomness a whole lot bigger problem, especially for streamers who are trying to get high kill gameplays for YouTubes or compete in tournaments. It's just it's unreal, and there's a lot of people who have said, you know, oh, like they have all this stuff, they're just waiting for like Battlefield and Halo BR to come out, so like the competition, so that they don't want to drop it too soon because then they could fade. Like, you know what I mean? Like if they dropped it a year, like 6 months ago, like everyone would be super happy, but then Battlefield and everything would come up kind of as everyone was fading off the hype. And it's like, yeah, but you're already losing massive amounts of viewers and streamers. So like you kind of mistimed it because you're already on the downslope. And so if you release all this stuff that people have been clamoring for closer to the release of Battlefield and Halo Infinite, like might already be too late. Like it might be over. Like people might have made the decision. I mean, Nick Merckx has said he's like, I'm not going back. Not until, like, I think it's prefaced with until there's like an anti-cheat or like a brand new map, you know. But like for now, he's digging Apex ranked mode.
Have you seen him?
Ranked mode Warzone. Put in a fucking ranked mode and get rid of goddamn skill-based matchmaking, and you'll bring 90% of these people back. Like, fucking ridiculous.
You can just see like the joy people are having not playing that game anymore. Yeah, Nick, I remember Z and Doc were talking about that. I was watching the same stream, and Z's like, I don't think he'll ever be back. He's having a lot of fun on Apex, and Halo's out in no time, and we know Nick's a big Halo guy, so like he's gonna go to that.
Actually has a BR, like
probably get sucked into that.
Yeah.
Well, so I was thinking about a question, and I was gonna propose to you, and I guess viewers and whatnot, they can kind of chime in and whatnot in comments or whatnot. But do you think with this massive chink in the armor Warzone showing right now, do you think it's a good idea for like Battlefield and Halo to kind of like drop, you know, projects elsewhere and like focus on getting out their BRs like quicker than they say they're going to come out? Because we know, I mean, Halo hasn't even announced that there's going to be one, and Battlefield has said like theirs isn't coming out until like sometime next year. Do you think it's a smart idea for them to say, nah, screw that, the top dog is hurt, we go in for the kill now and we get a BR out ASAP?
I think so. I think it makes plenty of sense. You don't need to have a BR to make a game successful. Like,
no,
I think that's, agree. You know, that's what a lot of people have thought in the last 2-3 years is, you know, ever since PlayerUnknown, ever since PUBG hit it big, and then Fortnite, like a lot of the last 3-4 years has been, we got to have a BR to make it competitive. I mean, Splitgate is showing that you don't have to have a BR to make it competitive. Will Splitgate ever pull the numbers that Warzone's playing? No, probably not. But you can be a successful game and healthy game. I just don't know the longevity of the game, but you can have a successful, healthy game for enough time to make some money and work on the next project without a BR. I think the BR lends to longevity because of in general, if you change the map enough and you change enough things, which, you know, should be relatively easy. I'm a coder, but you know, you can change things enough to keep the experience different, from a month to month, 6 months to 6 month experience, which they haven't been doing. I would say, yeah. I mean, I would definitely, if I was Call of Duty, if I was Battlefield, if I was Call of Duty too, I'd be sitting there going, "Oh fuck!" If I was Battlefield or if I was
make
Halo,
a new one.
yeah. If I was Battlefield or if I was Halo, I'd 100% be like, "Oh shit!" Like, because if they can pull what Apex pulled, because Apex released out of nowhere,
True.
they just were like, "Oh hey, here's random Wednesday." It was like, "Here's this new BR," and everyone was like, "Oh, this is great." If they can pull, what like an Apex pulled, and they can get a BR out that's good, serviceable, fun, like I don't want to say like serviceable, like it's a beta BR, like get the BR out, like make it good, get it out ahead of your release schedule. I think that's beneficial for them. So one thing I thought was interesting, so there were data mined. So Halo has not confirmed technically, but they were data mined voice lines of the announcer saying Battle Royale. So
I mean, they're not fooling anyone.
It could be scrapped. It could be. It could have been like they wanted to do it and they scrapped it. And
True.
And there's a lot of that stuff in data mined material all the time. There's a lot of stuff that just don't make it, and it's scrapped and the files just stay there. But I mean, how fucking ignorant do you have to be to not have a beat? Like, hey, like, and Nick Merckx has said the exact same thing. Halo, we all love Halo, but it is a dead franchise, more or less, right now. Like, it's a dead franchise. Like, it's currently dead, in the grave, and they are looking to resurrect it. And yes, good classic competitive Halo, like MLG Halo from back in the days, and like good multiplayer Halo is a great step in the right direction. I think you need that BR. Are those
a little bit, but it's not gonna like blast out of the ground.
The BR are those AD paddles, like shock.
I agree.
You're gonna have to have it. Like, I sincerely think that if you want to revive Halo and bring it back to the prominence that it was in back in Halo 3, back in those days, I think you have to have a BR. And Doc has talked about it 1,000 times. Like, Halo BR would be set up so perfectly to have certain weapons set spawn points, power weapons, equipment, so you can play the game much more tactically. Like, oh, we know there's like a rocket launcher's there.
True.
Like, everyone's gonna go. So it's like, because that's always one of the biggest complaints about BRs is the RNG. But if you can make certain set loot in areas where I can land here, get this weapon,
make a play for something,
and I can use this weapon really well, like, sure, you're going to drop there 99% of the time, because there is going to be that weapon there every single time you drop. So yeah, I think, and whether or not Battlefield, they've sort of confirmed it, sort of not. And
so yeah, I don't think they finally confirmed it yet either. I don't know. I thought they did, but I couldn't remember.
It's in the gray area basically, but
yeah,
and like going back to the Apex and the streamers leaving, like, I mean, listen, Apex, it's not for everybody. Like, watching it is definitely much more boring than Call of Duty, than Warzone.
Yeah, you're not getting 50 bombs from anyone out there. You're getting like,
it's so much.
You're seeing Nick Merckx get like 2-1 kills or even 0 kills, but placing like second. He's like, yeah, fuck yeah, I got,
because it's all about
15 RP. Let's go.
It's about ladder climbing.
Because it's not, it's not about kills. It's about getting to that next ranked. It's about a ranked mode, which, I would.
And so
your prior point, a ranked mode would be great in Warzone.
Yeah, and so it's gonna put people off. It's gonna in that sense, it's gonna keep people in Warzone. There's still a lot of content creators that complain about Warzone, but they still play it all the time because they think, and probably rightfully so, that they're not big enough yet to be able to change games. Like Tim, Nick, they're big enough to make the swap, and not Doc. Like, they're big enough to make the swap and still have their community follow them. But people who were made because of Warzone, that's a harder ask for them to go from the fast-paced, objectively more enjoyable Call of Duty Warzone experience for a viewer to the slower, less enjoyable, less fast-paced Apex viewing experience. Like, they definitely would lose a lot of people. So
which is tough. It sucks that they're like forced to just harm themselves playing that game just because they don't think their community will like to watch anything else, which sucks. especially with the state the game's in. But I guess it's their livelihood, so you can't do anything about it.
Yeah. So that's Warzone and Apex. I mean, it's good to see a revival in Apex. You know, people are loving it. A lot of people are loving it. Whether they're
I've been
loving it
playing
because
it
they
more and more
actually,
myself too, and I'm
yeah,
starting to,
it's an
I'm usually
actual
like,
skilled game. Like
whatever.
it's
But
actual
yeah,
game that requires skill. Like 100.
I'm
Like
like enjoying trying to like learn it again. Like
yeah.
we played a lot, but I never like really got too
Oh, the
good at it because
movement going back from
it
going from
it was
Warzone
tougher.
to Apex.
Yeah.
It's I tried doing
So
it and I was like,
it's just
oh
fun to try to like learn a new game and try to get better. It's
yeah.
like yeah, it's definitely I'm enjoying it a lot.
So, you know, and whether they actually enjoy Apex or they're just doing it to shove a middle finger in Activision's face, who
I mean, they
actually
gotta do something.
knows? But I mean,
Streamer Illuminati, they all had
yeah,
a massive meeting and like we need to kill Warzone, so everyone stop streaming. Let's go, get out of here.
I mean, it's entirely possible, and I mean, I'd be for it because that's
Yeah.
the only
It's
thing.
like,
Yeah,
where do I
that's the
sign up? Where do I
I
sign?
know that's the only thing that's going to do anything to Activision. I mean, they're already getting hit, and we didn't add this because I didn't want to talk about it, not because I didn't want to bring light to the situation, but I think, you know, it's just such a shitty topic that
Very
like
delicate topic,
yeah, and
and
like
I'm not a delicate person.
yeah, and I so there's a lot of I'm not going to go much further. There's a lot of shit happening to Activision legally currently right now.
Yes.
If you don't already know,
They are in hot water already.
they're
And
like
now this is
everyone. What's the say? They're exactly who we thought they were. Like
Yeah.
like everyone thought that they were. They're an incredibly shitty company to work for with a incredibly shitty culture with leadership that has their head up their asses 99% of the time, and all they care about is money. And we always knew that from a game, like from a customer standpoint and from like the people playing their games, but it turns out that's all they care about in every facet of how they run their business.
There's like, a piece of shit developers or whatnot. And I always find out they're just piece of shit people.
Yeah. And so that's the only way to really hit him is to hit him in the wallet, not whether or not this streamer walkout, and it's not really a walkout, but like this whether it's an active choice by a lot of these streamers to go play Apex is actually going to work in the long run. I don't really know, but I'm all for it because the game is so much fun when it's good, but it is very rarely good anymore, and that's the big thing.
It's very bad right now. That's all I gotta say.
All right, that was number 2. So number 3 on the big 3. We've already talked a little bit about it, but Halo. We were talking about, leaks and rumors and yada, 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 but something more tangible that happened recently was the Halo beta / technical preview. A lot of people got access to it. They only showed off basically a couple things, multiplayer, and you had to play against bots. So take that for what it's worth. But you got to get a look at the engine, what the game's going to look like, the sound design, how it's going to play. And I'm hopeful. It looks so much better than the Xbox 360 graphics preview they gave us when they gave the reveal trailer at E3 like last year, whenever it was. That looked horrible. And I think that's why the game got delayed like a year and a half, is because everyone was like,
we need to redo it all.
all the people watching were just like, guys, like that's what you have to offer us. Like you haven't made a game since 2000. I don't even fucking whatever. I'm not going to try to guess, but like the point is it looked like shit. And so they've gone back and they've revamped a lot of it, and it looks good. It looks better. It's poorly optimized because even the players I was watching it, beast computers, 3090s, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And they were basically capping out at like 70 FPS. So it's
tough.
Horribly optimized currently, but this is not even a beta. This is alpha, even probably closer to pre-alpha. This is a technical preview.
Something above that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a technical preview. So, but I think all the design choices look good. I mean, sound looks good. The gun mechanics look good. The gun design, the character customization looks like it's going to be deep, which is nice. What was I going to say? Like things like sprint and equipment. I always laugh because we played the Master Chief Collection like a couple months ago with some of our buddies, and one of them was like, Aaron, who's
where's the sprint?
We're diehard. We played Halo growing up, all grown up. We were all diehard Halo fans, And back then, sure, like no tactical sprint made sense because that's how a lot of games were made. But game design has changed and game elements need to be updated. And that was the biggest thing I could say was a con for me going back to the Master Chief Collection and playing like Halo 3 was like, there's no sprint. Like, and you can say that makes the game a little bit more skillful because you have to plan your engagements, know how to get in and out of cover, like know where the cover is. And I'll say, yeah, sure, I can agree with that.
Like crackhead kids slide canceling,
I
jump,
won't say, but
spinning all over the goddamn place, bunny hopping.
The flip side is that movement can be just as good of an indicator of skill as well. Like you may not have the greatest gun skill, but if your movement skill is through the roof, you're going to win engagements.
Yeah, but I don't.
That.
So,
well, yeah,
give me the non-sprinting.
So they're going to have like tactical sprint, different equipment that you can use, like bubble shields and not full bubble shields, but like a half bubble shield thing that you can shoot through. So it looked good. I mean, it looked good.
That's all you can ask. They delayed it for like a year plus, so all you really hope for is that
it'll be interesting.
Is shown. And seen.
It'll be interesting because it's releasing straight to PC as well at the same time. It'll be the first Halo that's released simultaneously on Xbox and PC. Objectively speaking, the game is better on sticks on a controller. It's meant to be played on a controller. So. I can't remember who was talking about it, but their description was very apt. Is Halo is a lot about headshots and tracking and smoother tracking, which lends to aim assist in the controller. And it's not as much of like a quick flick pinpoint, like one shot, headshot, like dead, like Call of Duty, for example, in which that favors the mouse more. A lot of people are probably like, oh man, I'm just as great at tracking with the mouse. And yeah, sure, there's those people that are great at, but based on, and I think that's an apt description, is that the way that you're meant to play and shoot in Halo was always built from the ground up for the controller.
I also will say, like, I've talked about this before. Like, I feel like back in the day when Halo was at its prime, 3 and all that good stuff, they didn't really. I don't want to say they didn't care about PC, but I feel like they're obviously were focused on making it for the stick. So I'm kind of hoping like this brand new game, PC Master Race, is kind of on the rise. Everyone has a PC these days, and everyone loves PC gaming. That they put a little more, I guess, I won't say effort, but like you can see maybe it just plays better on mouse keyboard maybe. So maybe we can get M and key action, but yeah, for sure, like the older stuff with sticks all the time. I've tried the Master Chief Collection on mouse keyboard and it was terrible. So I'm just saying, hopefully they do a little more time with mouse keyboard, make it a little bit better, because I do enjoy mouse keyboard, but the sticks is probably what I'm start on just because it's what the game's for.
So yeah, and that's really it for the big three. I mean, the Halo portion wasn't really going to be super extensive to begin with. So obviously we spent a decent amount of time talking about New World and Warzone.
I would say we got to cruise anyways because we spent so much time talking about that.
So that's the end of the big three. So the next news segment that we're keeping in line with what we did in the last episode after we changed the kind of structure of the show is a little thing we like to call Tech Talk. Tech Talk with Technique. Matt's got, he's the. I'm not going to say he's the resident technical expert because I think that
it's just because the name is Technique, so it just works.
We'll let Matt take it away with his tech tip for this week.
Well,
tech talk.
We're talking.
We're just talking.
All right.
We're just talking
here, bud. We're just talking here. So I learned about this actually from a viewer. A viewer is my channel a few times, and he's like wicked smart. He's always dropping knowledge to me about new stuff. Wicked smart guy. He's always dropping knowledge to me about new stuff that's coming out, and I would legit write some things down sometimes. Like, okay, I'm gonna look into that. That sounds cool. So he told me about direct storage. Which have you ever heard about this? Because I had no clue about it. So originally, I'm just gonna give a quick rundown. Originally developed for the Xbox Series X, and then I assume PC just saw it. I was like, yo, we want that. They announced that it was going to come out in the new Windows 11 and was going to leave Windows 10 kind of in the dust. Like, oh, no, we don't get it. And then further down the road, they announced that Windows 10, okay, yeah, you're going to get it. We're going to allow Windows 10 to have it. But they say,
heard this actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They say that when it's going to be better on Windows 11. We'll see if that's actually true. They could be lying.
Have you seen the Windows 11 review yet?
No, I did not watch it.
I should have. Linus Tech Tips has
it. Because they showed it off at that, did they not? And they showed off direct storage and all that other good crap.
No,
probably.
Not that.
We talked about it.
Yeah, but it looks good. It looks cool. So continue.
Two big areas that direct storage will help improve is load times, which that's a big thing everyone likes as fast as possible, and it'll allow games to be more detailed and expansive. I don't know if my readings is correct, but I'm just kind of like picturing like if you're playing a game, an open world game, and you're traversing through this world, the game kind of loads in front of you as you're moving through. What I'm picturing with direct storage, it just kind of like loads it all, and it just is all fucking there. So there's no loading of textures or this that. It's just all there. All looks beautiful. All looks crisp. Um, Again, another high level overview of how this is done. So right now, your stuff goes from your SSD to your RAM to your CPU. Your CPU does the decompressing and how do I word it? I'm dumb already. No, there's another word. Compression. Yeah, compresses and decompresses, and then it shoots, back to the RAM over to the GPU. This is the direct storage is going to cut out the CPU completely. It's going to go SSD into RAM into your GPU, and this is going to allow for games look better, run faster, and load times be quicker. It does come, obviously, it sounds like great tech, so you're probably going to need a decent rig to run it. So far, you need to have an NVMe SSD, which I don't even have, so I'm going to be in the market to buy some because I want to have this. And you're going to need a card that supports DirectX 12. I don't know where that falls on AMD cards, but I do know I think that's 2000 series and above, so that's gonna cost you a pretty penny if you need to upgrade. But yeah, that's my tech talk. Basically, just kind of it's just something that I didn't know that's coming out, and it just sounds like gonna make games run faster, look better, and it's gonna reduce. I think it's gonna reduce strain on your PC because like your GPU can handle all this stuff better than your CPU, and it's just going to make it sounds like the whole ecosystem of your PC is just going to run a lot better, a lot smoother, and make games look better.
And it's entirely possible too that they may be efficient or effective enough where you don't have to liquid cool or AIO cool your CPU, because if your CPU is cut out of the equation completely, like
that's when the temps boost is when the game
exactly is the
true
heat generation. How so that's an interesting thought, and and it sort of probably is a similar process to the quick resume that the Series X has. Like it's probably similar tech to an extent, which I've
well, I mean, it's from Xbox Series X, so I assume it's whatever they have for that going on.
No, that's cool. I did I couldn't remember the name of it, but when I started reading through the bullet points, I was like, oh yeah, I've heard of this. And yeah, the GPUs nowadays are the 30 series GPUs are incredible, and they're talking the 40 series are going to be even better. So, there's so much
I've always
more
thought
power
that like
than what's
GPUs
actually
are just
utilized.
Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like GPUs are just like beasts, but you're just sitting there like I don't know, walking a little chihuahua. Compared to like what it can be. So I'm down for let's unleash the beast. Let the GPU do whatever it can, everything it can. I mean, yeah, I got 30 series and I'm using that like it has a dedicated streaming chip, so I'm using that whenever I stream, and it's much better than having my CPU do it. So let's go. What else can it do? Show me more things.
Yep. So cool. Well, that's the tech talk here with Technique. So the next new segment we're gonna move right into a little fun game we've created. So it wasn't initially started as a game.
Last week was or 2 weeks where it was really good. So I'm hoping I can
do
just as good.
It's called Guess That Game. And basically, we're going to take turns. We take turns every other week, so every other show, where we describe a game poorly. It's accurate. The description is accurate, but you describe the game like as poorly and as kind of like as literally as you can. And the other one tries to guess what the game is. So it initially didn't start as a game, but I think we're going to shift it. Basically, you get five hints to give. So Matt is going this week. He has 5 hints to give me. If I can't guess what the game is in 5 hints, he wins this week. He gets a point. We'll keep track of points. I haven't really put a time frame on it yet, but we'll talk about that behind the scenes. So I'll let you take it away, Mr. Guest, Mr. Tip Master.
Right. Okay. First tip. You play as a character with severe deja vu.
Severe.
This one I came up like right away with. I thought it was really good.
Severe deja vu.
Should come up with like some Jeopardy music to play in the background.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
know.
Pew, 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 pew.
No, I got nothing right now. Yeah.
Okay. You cut grass and do demolition work for money.
I feel like it's gonna be super obvious once you tell me what it is, but
Say the second one once I tell
vu,
you.
cut grass.
You'll be like, oh.
Do demolition. Cut grass and demolition? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I mean, you do demolition work.
Okay.
You destroy things for money.
Okay.
Not big things, kind of smaller things.
All right.
Nothing
yeah,
too big.
I'm still pulling a blank here.
I think I worded this terribly. Hold on. People are going to be very mad when they see all the stuff you stole from their chests. Take this next one. Once I tell you this next one, you're probably going to get it.
See all the stuff you stole from. Jesus, I feel like I should know this. Like, I'm thinking of like.
I'm not sure how good these are, but
No. I mean, I'm feeling like, I'm thinking, I'm like games that we played recently, like Valheim. There's no grass in that though, and I guess you don't really steal shit either. I'm thinking of like other MMOs though, or other.
Well, let me hit you with this next one. I think this next
so
one
this is tip 4, so I haven't gotten it
Yep.
yet. I'm still pretty in the dark, honestly.
This next one might. The hero isn't in the title.
The hero isn't in cut grass. Oh, Minecraft. No,
I didn't think about that, but that's kind of good.
I was gonna say everything lines up pretty straight, pretty dead on.
That's a really good guess. This could actually, I could have been, totally. All this stuff is.
I was like, oh my god,
Minecraft, but no.
Oh, damn it. Like close, like game genre wise.
I know you. I never really impressed by Minecraft.
Zelda games.
Yes, Legend of Zelda.
I had to think about it. Like I was like, I don't know why how that just came to me. I was like the hero, and then I was Link. Okay, yeah, got it in 4.
Last one was gonna be your adventure always starts and ends the same way for the most part, because it's always like you wake up, ooh, who am I? And then you always end up going again. But
yeah, the deja. I should have. That's true.
Deja vu. You do the same shit most of the time, all over again.
Yeah.
And cut grass. You're always cutting grass, and rupees come out, and you pick up pots, and you can throw them for rupees to break and whatnot.
Yep. No, that all makes sense now.
We almost had them, folks.
Almost had me. Damn. That was good. Yeah.
No one's on the scoreboard yet, folks. We both gotten it so far.
I would say, we both go back and listen to last episode.
Very good.
I'm not going to give you a hint on what the game was, but I think I was very proud of myself for the hints that I came up with. And Matt's ditching right as we were about to end it. Yeah, I'll have to in the audio version I'll have to find some sort of like Jeopardy music or something. Obviously, I have to stay away from the DMCA bullshit, but with Anchor, they allow us to put some things in. So for anyone, there'll be an ad on this audio version, but if you're not using Anchor, go ahead and check it out if you want a podcast. Easiest, quickest, cheapest way to create a podcast. Anyone can do it. So can we. If we can, anyone can. This is a better way to say it. So Um, and so that was Guess That Game. That was the second to last segment. And generally speaking, we have like a final topic or a final segment where it's like I basically rage on something in gaming. But like I honestly couldn't think of anything really to rage on.
You know why? Because you're not beating your head off while playing
Well,
Warzone
I
anymore, and
guess
you're
that's
happy now.
yeah. I guess that has to. As well, I will say, and this will be sort of a rewash of last week. So last week I raged about Pokemon Go, but they recently nerfed the distance that like you could get Pokestops at. So like that was one of the big things I complained about I had complaints about back in the day was like you had to be so close to things like Pokestops, gyms. When I got back into it like a month or so ago, I was like, oh shit, I can get everything from like super far away. And it was great. And then literally like last week they nerfed the distance again. It's like
Well,
so
that was due to COVID. Actually, I didn't know about that.
oh
Like they made the
really?
distance.
Fuck
Yeah,
it.
because
Well, fucking
I
go
saw
back. Like it was
I saw a tweet
better.
somewhere. It's like people are upset that Pokemon Go is like reeling back their COVID protocol. Kind of like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. They made the distance
Well,
to
fuck them.
be near things wider, so people aren't closer together. Now
Yeah.
they're nerfing it back down to normal.
No bullshit. Go back over the wider distance. It makes I'm at the axe throwing place and there's a gym in the fucking parking lot and I can't even get it sitting in the fucking build like so yeah whatever. So my little minor normally it would be not a continuation. It would be something a little bit more of substance, but that's my mini rant. I was gonna say there's not a whole lot else that I've been super aggravated with as of late. So
cut out playing games that make me mad, and I'm fine.
I know, man. Oh, and that's the thing I joked about. Like, went to like Tim's son's birthday party, like last weekend or the weekend before, and I was telling him about New World, and I was like, man, it's like I still stayed up until like 2:30 in the morning, whatever, playing New World. I was like, but staying up until 2:30 playing a game that you love, that you're having a great time, chilling, vibing in, and like getting sleep and waking up in the next morning, it feels very different from staying up until 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, yeah, super tensed up, raging for the whole time, and then sleeping. Like, I woke up, I
Just
felt
like
great. Well, and that's the thing. Yeah, after playing Warzone, like I wake up in the morning. Well, granted, I'm going to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, so like that's one thing. But I'd always wake up with like a headache, felt like shit the next day. It's because literally the whole time I'm up, I'm just like raged out of my mind. Whereas New World, I was enjoying it, loving life. I was like, oh, this is great. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll go to bed. It's getting late, and I slept like a baby. Woke up great, fully rested. And it's just so shit happens.
It's
man.
wild.
I know it's wild, bro. Sometimes it be like that.
Yep.
Cool. So we're gonna get out of here. That's gonna do it for us. Hopefully you guys are enjoying what you're listening to, enjoying what you're seeing. Minus Matt's C922 camera. But yeah.
Okay, no, real quick.
Yeah.
Here's my question to you. Okay, we're going at we're broadcast at 720p, dog. It's probably just getting compressed anyway. So
colors look better though. It's like
yeah, I know.
And you're a little, you're cloudy, a little cloudy. So
it's also Discord. Fucking like if I have stream elements up with the camera on, it looks a lot better. Discord makes it look like it's just fucking coming out of a butt.
Well, it's like double compression for you because it's getting compressed from Discord and then streaming the Discord camera out. So, all right, that's gonna do it for us. If anyone's enjoying what we're doing, I hope someone out there is enjoying what we're doing. Give us a follow. You can find us pretty much on all the socials at W_key_podcast. Like I said in the beginning of the show, if you really enjoy what we're doing and you know someone that might like it too, tell them. Tell a friend. Word of mouth is really huge. Rating and reviewing, if you're into that kind of thing, helps us out a ton as well. Podchaser.com or iTunes, Apple Podcasts, whatever you call it. Anchor, the Anchor app. Now you can find us there. Not that we were never there. It's just we host with Anchor, and you comment and like, thumbs up, and shit like that in the Anchor app. So do that as well. And yeah, Matt, you hit them with your socials, and we'll get the hell out of here.
Let's see here. Technique on Twitter. Don't use that too much. Technique TV on Instagram. Use that more. Technique on TikTok. Use that the mostest probably. And then you can catch live streams Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings, 6 to 8 p.m. a.m. Eastern time. Right now we're just kind of honestly grinding FIFA, just hanging out, chilling, vibing until New World comes out. And yeah.
Early bird gets the worm.
Yeah, I mean, I've been too bad actually. I mean, I was afraid it was gonna like just be a zombie walking around, but I think it might be a morning person. I don't know.
Don't you ever say blasphemous things like that.
Yeah, I know. I lied to you, Chad.
All right, so we'll get out of here. Keep an eye out next stream, not this Monday, or not this coming Monday, but we'll be back on the 23rd for the stream, and the episode will come out on the next episode will be on the 26th. If you're
Oh wait, well, just
audio
real
only.
quick, I guess housekeeping to
Yeah.
23rd. I don't know, just because I think I might go and work from home for that week,
Yeah.
leading up to Sam's baby shower thing, but we'll see.
All right, we'll figure it out.
Might just do it from home.
Hopefully,
I mean, I can just bring everything with me
Yeah.
and just fucking do it up there.
So keep an eye out. The next stream should be on the 23rd. Next, if you're audio only listener, you know you're getting this on Thursday the 12th, and the next episode will come out on Thursday the 26th. Other than that, always remember you can't spell win without W.